That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to the MOTN Black Hole, where we reach elbow deep into the darkness of the nerdiverse and pull out the questions that you have sent us to answer. I am, of course, your host, Mike G, and with me for this episode is the carnivorous host of mine, Winter Trash Monk III.
You have found me in the inner depths of the dumpster. I am Trash Monk the Third. Trash Monk. And we'll be talking about hot takes, people.
Hot takes. The Trash Monk has a real slippery blade, guys. Don't let him get you. He'll get you real quick on your ankle.
I don't know what that means. Slippery. What's a slippery blade?
You know, like a Hotel California where the guy has the steely knife. It's a steely knife.
But he can't
Trash
steal
Monk
the
has
meat.
Yeah, man. Trash Monk has a slippery blade. He'll walk by you, and then you're just bleeding. You didn't even see him pulling out. And now you got trash juice inside your body. Now you need antibiotics.
Trash juice inside your body.
He laces his blades with trash juice. Stabs you right in the jejunum. And then what you do? You got to get antibiotics now, like Mike G. Cough, cough, cough. This is a new segment of the show where we gather a month's worth of questions that you, via our Twitter, which is @mnerdiverse, have sent to us to answer. So we're going to answer those in the order in which they have been received.
Awesome. The first question is Mike G addicted to antibiotics? More on that later.
A little bit. A little, because if you're constantly taking antibiotics, then how do you get sick? Right?
That's true.
You become perfect.
Well, you need to then balance that with probiotics. Yeah.
Oh, man. No, I eat plenty of kimchi, so I'm super good.
Of course you do.
I eat plenty of kimchi. Yeah, man.
One step closer to living in anime VR.
Dude, I'm already there, bro. Gaijin, I'm called the Gaijin boy. BOI 92.
Yeah. There was like some term that someone called you on Twitter that I had no clue.
Oh yeah, that's the homie, dog. Yeah, he's real cool. I've been chatting up with him recently. I'll pull up since this is all about our contact with the internets and all these great people. Let me give him a shout out real quick. I gotta find him really fast.
They're decent. I can't say great.
See, Winter secretly despises everyone who participates with the show.
No. They're taking away our listeners.
They're taking away our freedoms. Guys, you got to stop taking away our freedoms. I just want to get his name right. I'm going to keep looking for it, but let's get through Ozzy Austin. Want to give you a shout out, boss. Thank you, man. You're awesome dudes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. He called me senpai, and he said senpai noticed him because we've been talking. I'm like, man, I can't be senpai until I at least have like at least until we have like 10K followers, man.
Yeah, my mind went like, wasn't there like a battle fought there back in World War II between the Japanese and whatever Chinese militias there were there? Battle of Senpai.
I don't know, man.
Okay,
if it wasn't an anime, I don't know, dude. I only know the animus. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know about like Muramasa and Lubu, all those cats, dog.
All right.
You know, the Dynasty Wars and stuff, man. All right, let's open this bad boy up with
other anime.
Lord of the Rings. Other anime. Lord of the Rings is big anime.
And other
Everybody
Japan
knows
animations.
Senpai. He was senpai. Ganondorf for summer.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
You
Here's a random
shall
thought.
not pass
You cannot pass this.
All right.
Massacre.
We're treading very close to the edge of not yellow face, but yellow audio, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah,
No.
let's back away from that very fast.
Yeah.
Thank you. You always save this podcast.
I want to check our privilege before we continue. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we need the okay for that. We need our cards first. We need to get our cards first before we can continue with that.
Let me sprinkle
we're gonna open this
sage
up.
into. You keep trying to move on, but we're here.
I keep trying to move on. You're killing me, dude.
We're in this
We're to the ride.
right?
Let's let it rock. Let's let it rock, dog.
I control the lid. The dumpster is shut. Okay. So
I'm the trash man.
now I was going to say that let me burn some sage into this audio to clean our experience, but now the joke is out of context. So now I release the lid, and now we can continue.
Okay, I am literally Jeeves with my suit in the dinner plate with the white handkerchief over my shoulder. Yeah, however you want to rock it, man. Okay, let's open this up with a random thought that I put towards our followers. This was a poll, a question I posed to the Nerdiverse, and with 11 votes, we got our answer. So the question was, and I'm going to pose this to us: can a hero be happy and still be an effective hero? In regards to, can Batman, let's say Batman, for example, there was a recent arc in Batman comics, and this is what made me think of the question, where Batman was going to get married to Catwoman. Writing, right? And spoilers, if you haven't read this, spoilers. Catwoman didn't end up going through with the wedding because she felt that the moment that Bruce Wayne becomes happy, he's no longer has the ambition to be Batman, or at least not to the level of commitment that he has when he's constantly sad about his parents' death and all vengeful and stuff. Batman can't be happy and still be a good Batman. So it made me think, can heroes be happy and in healthy relationships and healthy communities and still be an effective hero? Is tragedy required to fight crime?
What do you think, Winner? Let me get a second.
Yeah. You want to go? You want to think about? Okay. I think it's both. There are examples, strong examples to either side. Just to give shout outs for this question. Shout out to, one second, just pulling this up. Wrong article. Here we are. Yeah, shout out to Geek Heart Games. That's at Geek Heart Games. Their reply was Squirrel Girl from Marvel Comics. She's happy all the damn time. Fights crime just fine. And I totally agree with that. Squirrel Girl, I can't think of a time she wasn't having a good time. So Squirrel Girl is good for the right side of things. But then you have a character like Batman whose drive and ambition fuel his fight towards crime and for him to be able to fight these otherworldly beings and be successful. Whereas you have someone like Spider-Man who's constantly having things taken away from him, from the death of Gwen Stacy to his marriage being broken up with Mary Jane. He just can't catch a break. The Peter Parker luck, that's what they call it. Can he maintain happiness and still fight crime effectively? I think it really depends on the character. Like the Fantastic Four are this big family. You would think they were happy, but they're constantly being attacked by Dr. Doom and stuff. So it's like they're always stressing out about the next big universal catastrophe. But then you have people like Iceman. Like, I don't think Bobby Drake has like a really bad life. You know what I mean? Like, he's an X-Man. He fights crime. He can make ice cream really easy. So I really think it's more of a black and white question. But if I had to give a solid answer, I'm going to say yes, because there's a yes in regards to a hero can be happy and an effective hero. You don't necessarily need that be that doom and gloom. But what I will say, and this will be the end of my response to it, is that as an artist and as a creator, for some reason, I do my best work when I'm sad. I do my best work when I'm mad. I do my best work when I'm going through something. I don't know why, just the way it is. Does that equate to fighting crime as well? I'll never know, but I don't know. There's something to be said on both counts. What are your thoughts about any of this, Winter?
Well, it is an interesting question whether a hero needs to be happy or not. It's important, I think, to look at the large scope of heroic stories in the history of humanity. I don't know if this is as deep as people were expecting in a comic book show, but it's like we first need to ask.
But you want to go, man?
Yeah, we need to first ask what is our definition of happy. In a sense, we could say that happy would be. I mean, what's the word? Let's say our definition of what unhappy is. That's easier for me because I'm a grunge dude. Being unhappy is to not be content in our situation, in our current situation. While being happy would be content. So, and a story of someone being happy all the time is not a story. It's not moving in a flow somewhere, I would say. And we see that constantly in heroic stories, going back to the Odyssey, where I think it's the Odyssey, with Ulysses needing to go onto a journey back home because at his current state, he's not content with where he's at. He's wanting to go back. He's wanting to go back to this paradise where he would be happy. He'd be much happier where he is, where he's going, than where he is now. And then combining that with the heroic story of Batman, where his whole life is virtually not being happy. So Batman, in a sense, is always not happy because he is he has a trauma in his past that reflects on what he is currently going through, and that's the he's trying to fix the city type of scenario, or he's trying to fix himself, and this all could be tied back into the story arc of a hero, which is not he is happy, then something happens to. He is content, then something happens where he is not content. He's not content with his current situation. So then he goes on this journey to become content once again. To read more about this, I would go to Joseph Campbell's book, Hero of a Thousand Faces, and seeing the heroic journey. Very interesting dissection of heroic stories in Greek mythology, and then going to our current state of answering the question that yes, heroes cannot be happy while they're doing heroic things. That's why the part, like in the movies, the ending is where they're happy again in most movies. Right. And the reason why we don't see like the in-between parts of the next adventure is because no one would care about in between of the part where he's happy, where everything's working. We want to know right when things go out of whack for them.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And to close out this really good topic, actually, we can spend the whole thing talking about this actually, but I think that in storytelling, from Ulysses, from Homer's Odyssey to Amazing Fantasy 15, your hero requires a sense of conflict and to move the story along. Something has to happen, right? But does that have to affect that character's temperament toward that conflict? You know what I mean? Does the character have to feel angry or put upon himself, are vengeful to accomplish that feat, or can he feel happy and hopeful and joyful? But I guess then if they're happy and hopeful and joyful, then it's hard to convey that. It's hard to give a sense of urgency when someone's so complacent toward their goal. You know what I mean? It's kind of offsetting or off-putting if the person is smiling the whole way and they're avenging their wife's death. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely see where you're coming from. Yes. Cool. Ready to move on to the first question?
That was the first one, right?
Well, that was the technically that was the straw poll.
Okay.
So I figured we do a straw poll and answer 3 questions.
Yeah, I can try to wax eloquently. So here we go.
Yes, you can, man. Listen to the silver-tongued Casanova over here.
It's a bronze tongue. Let's be honest, it's a bronze tongue.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that. Metal's metal, boo. First question comes from Trap Money Najee. Shout out to Trap Money Najee for hitting us up. He asked us a couple questions. There's 2 out of the 3, so let's answer them real quick. What are your final thoughts on this whole James Gunn debacle with Disney? What are your final thoughts on it? It seems to be placed on hold right now.
Right.
They're shutting down production indefinitely on Guardians of the Galaxy, telling people to go home. And just where does that leave you? How do you feel about that? Like the whole way it went down.
Well, there's a couple of issues that could be brought up for this. I would say one is putting too much weight into people's past actions as a determinant on what they are presently doing. We could probably say that that's inspired by our like social justice warrior type mentality of our current climate.
Right.
Where anything you've said in the past is fair game to then condemn you now, which is very interesting for people who are then advocating for people to change. But yeah, but that's a whole nother episode.
Never off the hook.
Yes, you're never off the hook.
Right.
And as you can see, it has real world repercussions where now this is where people are focusing on, well, James Gunn doesn't have a job, but it's not like he's going to be broke or anything. What about the people that are working on this movie that now have to go somewhere, like they're out of a job? They have to go somewhere else and find a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's several people besides the director, the writer, the actors that make a movie. And it's just, once again,
thank you.
People who are not in the movie business are determining how the movie business should run.
That's the most elegant way you put it. I can't. People who are not in the industry are dictating how the industry should be ran.
Yes. And
that's through social media. That's SJWs, as we call them, social justice warriors, blowing up, these companies for justice against what? And it's ruining people's lives. It's taking food out of people's mouths. You made a good point where people got to remember where James Gunn came from. This guy started in trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he has a bit of a mean streak in him. If you've watched any of his movies besides Guardians, you could see that the guy has a strange sense of humor. Watch Slither. Exactly. I can't even watch that movie. It's too real.
I like Slither,
and for him, I love Slither. Yeah. I just can't watch it. It just grosses me out. But can someone move on past their juvenile, mistakes and be a good person? 3-5 years removed, 10 years removed, whatever. Can someone move past it? Can people grow? Are we allowed to grow on a public stage? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think this will be my last comment for this because it ties into our second one as well. That with this decision, I think I can't advocate for this guy's opinions 100%, but I think he was actually referencing another thing, internet news, but for Disney to take this strong of a stance is to then make them morally culpable for anything else that happens, and they don't say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
say this is actually this was actually mentioned by another event talking about Alex Jones being kicked off of YouTube and all these other stuff because and the guy who said Jordan Peterson, by the way, don't send me hate mail, please. He's an interesting individual. Jordan Peterson said that now it puts you in a dangerous position of you're the moral arbiters of your channel. And there's a lot more reprehensible, and then there's equally reprehensible stuff on there. They're on the same lines of Alex Jones. So same thing goes with now Disney, who, by the way, Disney is trying to act like they are like Jell-O pudding, but they're
right,
but they're not.
Can't with it, man.
Yeah, they're full on canned corned beef hash. I don't know what that means.
They're a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're an actual. They're at the end of the day, past the mouse and past the Disney Point and Disney Wave, it's a business.
Yeah.
And does this make business sense given all the facts? You know what I mean? And them being so quiet about it is speaking thousands of words. You know what I mean? Even without them, because they're still just like quietly, well, we're just going to stop production. Well, we're not going to comment on it. They're letting people, everyone's guessing. Oh, he got fired. All we know is he got fired, according to Disney. And the movie the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been postponed indefinitely.
Right.
So there's a chance this movie may never be made. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's kind of goes into Trap Money Najee's second question, which kind of talks about the same thing. Is how do we feel about, and I just want to kind of open this. He asked the question, what are our thoughts on the Madden 2019 Colin Kaepernick issue? And we just recently did a podcast where we talked about Madden.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, is that Madden 19 is the latest game that's coming out in the long series of Madden football games on PlayStation to Nintendo. Madden's been forever. But because with all the Colin Kaepernick hoopla, they're pretty much removing him from the game entirely. You know what I mean? His jersey, his shoes, the character. You can't play as him. You're going to play as football quarterback number 7. And it's another thing with these major these major companies kind of setting trends not based on their internal industry, but based on reactions from social media, from political media. You know what I mean? Like, what difference does it make to the person who buys Madden, who's a non-Kaepernick fan, to play against him on the other side of the field? You should just be able to play against him if you want, and if you don't want, you can take him out the game. If you choose to do that, like to blackball someone so completely, it's almost lunacy to me. I don't get why these companies do this, especially to people who are morally correct. I want to say, maybe, depending on how you feel about it.
Well, we don't
say something, Winter. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't need to say that they're morally correct or incorrect yet. I would say that the argument, the talk about this could actually be separated away from how you feel about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee
as a person.
Yeah, as a person.
Yeah.
What this goes back to, and I would say going back to Jordan Peterson talking about Alex Jones, is like this is like you're now creating yourself as a moral arbiter of what you are now putting. Like you can no longer say that we let anything go. We don't police what we put in a game. Like for instance, Steam. Mm-hmm. Steam says everything goes. Pretty much. Yeah. But now Madden's going to go like, no, we have a say in what goes in our game. So then ask them, so why did you allow Michael Vick to still be in the game? Ask him that. Ask them why
Right.
they
Or Ray
would
Lewis.
Ray
Batman.
Lewis. Why would they allow people who have murdered people, who have
Ben Roethlisberger, man.
who have done horrible things to still be in the game? And it's because Matt and I don't know if Madden would say this bluntly or not, but there's a weird part of sports that think that that they are also supposed to be teaching morals while also throwing a pigskin around, which is a crazy thing to me. But it's just part of it's just part of the pro sport world, where the fact that you run fast means that you can also tell me about what I should be doing as a human being.
And it's not really in the sports, in Hollywood, in any form of entertainment.
Right.
Children and adults alike, for some reason, cling on to these people. They look up to them. I want to be like Mike, right? We idolize these people on some level as growing up, as, just humans. And with that comes the baggage of that person. I always say, I try to separate the art from the artist, right? That's how I kind of rationalize this stuff. My favorite movie of all time is The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
It's really rough because you have Kevin Spacey as the star and Bryan Singer as the director. And two of those guys are on the outs in Hollywood right now.
Right.
But can I not like The Usual Suspects anymore because of their actions? Can I not be a Kaepernick fan? Even if I disagreed with what Kaepernick did, does that truly affect someone who's playing the game on that level? Is it affecting your brand that much?
And these are important things to really be. Sorry if I cut you off there. Did I?
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just about done. So
okay, so these are things that could have been just like in the like family or like the living rooms of philosophers or critics or be talking about these things, but there's now a real chance of technology catching up with crazy ideas. And by crazy ideas, I mean going into a movie and splicing out a character or replacing that character with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like
The Last Jedi.
the last Jedi, or like Madden's already doing it by just like removing a character from this new game. But it could very well be in the future where it's like, you know what, we'll remove this character from every title of this game. Or like if there's a movie that's been released, like all the money in the world, let's remove this guy from it. Or even a movie that's already been out and there's like there could be a chance that Lawrence Fishburne will play in the Bill Cosby Show. Could you imagine? Let's think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
That
you just sub them out, right?
That a show that has the name Bill Cosby in it, there is a potential of removing Bill Cosby from it and just like splicing the head of Lawrence Fishburne in it.
And here's something I would like to close on. And
now I'll put my
company that's notorious. No, I totally feel you.
Yeah.
That is the future, because now with what they're doing with de-aging and facial recognition technology, they could just do that, right? Sub them out. But a company that's notorious for this is the WWE, right? So the WWE, if you have a falling out with them, they'll erase you from every WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Benoit, they can't mention his name anymore. He's erased from all wrestling history retroactively.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is constantly in and out of wrestling history, depending on what he's done recently. He goes on a racist tirade, take out all of his WrestleManias, to where Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant is being body slammed by a ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have to keep up this weird moral high ground so that they don't get yelled at by angry consumer.
Yeah. And this is what happens.
And one day, I hope. It's just one day I hope that companies will get wise that people are going to complain no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
right? People are going to complain no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if let's say James Gunn gets reinserted, they welcome him back. Fans are going to love it. Fans are going to hate it. But at the end of the day, all those fans are still going to see that movie. You know what I mean? Like, for all those people who hate on DC, and this is kind of a good segue to the last question.
Right.
For all those people who hate DC comics and hate DC movies, the DC extended universe, these are the same guys who saw Justice League. You know what I'm saying? These are the same guys who were there to watch Batman versus Superman. Fans are just not going to like stuff because that's fans. Everybody who hated The Last Jedi saw it 3 times. You know what I mean? And there's always that guy who's like, I didn't see it. I boycotted it. And that's good for you, man. But that's not the majority of the moviegoer, of the football fan, of the video game player. You know what I mean? Leave it up to the person. Leave it up to the parent. Leave it up to us to make the decision of what we want to support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, give us the opportunity to not want it. Don't just remove it or not include it because you're buckling to some invisible, you know?
Yeah, the thought of, like, this goes back to the concept, just to throw out two more things before moving on. The Congress by Robin Wright, that would be a good movie to watch that kind of touches on a few of these issues that we discussed of Robin Wright, The Congress, as well as, and a final thing that what we've been touching our topics of, like, the idea of conscious capitalism, which is don't just you know what I mean? And we're finding out that it's a double-edged sword to do conscious capitalism. It's
never not been a double-edged sword.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they just don't get it.
Right.
It's so funky. Last question given to us by Julian L, because I'm not going to drop any last names on this podcast.
Yeah, shout out to
Julian identities.
Julian Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
No, Julian Lennon.
L.
Is this Julian Lennon? John Lennon's son from the 80s?
I would love that.
But it's not too late for goodbyes. And I said you've been leaving me. I've been wanting to die. You know that song?
I was going to go, in days gone by, it's the bigger love in the family. No one knows what I'm talking about.
No.
Why are DC movies so bad compared to Marvel? Winner. Why are DC movies so bad in comparison to Marvel?
Different models of production. You have it's essentially the same. We could make a comparison. Let me put the tinfoil back on. We can make a comparison to Apple and PC. Okay? Marvel is Apple, where they have spent time, hours upon hours, of, like, working out how movies are going to be attached to what and blah, 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 blah. Okay? They've, like, spent hours to make, like, everything symmetrical and fit and make this computer look aesthetically pleasing as well as powerful. Now you cut over to the PC world. It is essentially a Wild West show, and people want it to be a Wild West show.
Yep.
Where... okay, we're just going to sell the IP. We're just going to sell, like, the term Superman, and we're going to get this director, Zack Snyder. Boom. You're going to do what you want to do, but we're going to ask you that you include these little bits into the film. So that's how you get Batman v Superman. And there's a little bit of Wonder Woman, because probably they were told, like, by the way, Wonder Woman's going to be in the universe, so could you please add her? And he goes, okay, let's add her, but we're going to focus more on Martha. Or, like, we both have the same name for a mom. Or whatever.
Martha! Why'd you say Martha?
Yes, shout out to...
why'd you say that name?
Shout out to the podcast Show Me the Meaning of This from Wisecrack that also talks about Batman v Superman.
Show me the meaning of being lonely.
Probably one of my major inspirations in talking about movies is Show Me the Meaning of This by Wisecrack. Anyway,
Yeah.
Although their network is
like
called the Wise Cast Network, which is very interesting, or something like that.
So I want to answer this question with a comparison. Yeah, I think will best explain why Marvel's better than DC as of now in regards to their film cinema output. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to compare two movies: Captain America: Civil War and Batman vs Superman. Okay. Neither of these movies are Citizen Kane. Okay, I'm just going to say that right off the bat. These aren't perfect masterpieces of cinema. They're supposed to be good fighting comic book movies. Let's just put that out there first. So what do these movies want to do? Batman vs. Superman is supposed to be, it should have been World's Finest. I'm not going to go too deep into my issues about this movie. I'm just going to lay down the facts. Batman vs. Superman was supposed to be the big fight between Batman versus Superman. Right. Who would win? Comparison to the Dark Knight series written by Frank Miller. Captain America: Civil War was going to be a fight between Team Iron Man and Team Tony, and who is right in this ideals of should superheroing be legislated by the government or ran by the government. What do these movies have to do? They have to introduce new characters. Because as of now, we've never seen Batman in this new setting, right? We've never seen Wonder Woman in this new setting. Mm-hmm. It's a big thing to reintroduce a character like Batman on the big screen with a new actor. It's very important to get that right? What does Marvel have to do? They have to reintroduce Spider-Man, the biggest comic book character, probably second only to Batman in the world, right? New actor. You have to new approach. And the way that it's done, the way that it's marketed, it clearly shows that, like you were mentioning earlier, Marvel being the Mac, directed this movie so meticulously that you never had too much of this new character, but you had just enough, right?
All right.
You had Spider-Man for maybe 10 minutes of the film. On screen, Spider-Maning it up. It's all you needed to taste. Yeah, Black Panther. They introduced Black Panther in this movie. Just a taste. Mm-hmm. You get an idea of what the character is. You get him out. Batman versus Superman. Batman is all through it. Batman is... It's Batman's movie pretty much in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Introduce Wonder Woman. Extremely important character. We get too little of her. It's porridge too hot, porridge too cold. And I think that's what's been the major problem with the DC Extended Universe is that either porridge is too hot or the porridge is too cold. And Marvel, and some may say that it's a formulaic kind of way that they make these movies, but you can say that all their movies are just right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just right. It's not too much. Even Infinity War, which is the biggest juggling act of all time, was just right, in my opinion. But then you have Justice League, which was a hot mess.
Right.
Too hot, too cold, never just right. So I think that once DC gets into its rhythm, that they'll finally be able to get that just right mix and represent these characters as DC fans would like them to be represented. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think you're right. It just takes time for them. That's the way that they're wanting to market it. That I think, again, they went way too fast and getting all these movies out. My brain is wanting to make a connection between Intel and AMD in a way to describe this type of content.
You're not wrong, man.
Where Intel has used to be only they would not go past 4 cores, and they're terrible at overclocking. But I can't handle that. My brain can't handle that theory.
No worries.
Man. Tweet us if you can connect Intel and AMD between the Marvel and DC Cineverse.
Absolutely. and tweet us if you have any questions you would like to be thrown into the black hole. Though that is at mnerdiverse on Twitter. You can find us there, yucking it up, mentioning new content, putting out episodes, commenting on news that comes out during the week. Our Twitter page is a giant party, and you don't have to bring any. You don't have to BYOB because we bring our own buoyancy. This is what the black hole is. That just slipped into it.
Yeah.
So thank you for the questions. And once again, I want to thank Trap Money Najee and Julian L for sending us some quick questions. And thank all of you who participated in the random thought. And I'm going to be putting that out again this week. So we can have something to talk about at the end of next month. So the mailbox that we're going to be filling inside of the black hole will be answered at the end of every month. So we're going to start again fresh in September and see how it goes. See what the fall brings. Any passing thoughts, Winter, before we close this bad boy out?
Yeah. Check me out on @TrashMonkIII. That's TrashMonk III. And I'm still working on releasing some music in the future. It's going to be interesting. I just need to find the time to do it. And also, you can find me.
It's going to be lit, fam.
Feel free to add me on League of Legends, and, that's it.
What's your League of Legends hangout? How do we find you on League, bro?
TrashMonk. Yeah, TrashMonk III.
Yeah, man. Find them on that League. Pick Zarya, but pick, like, the cool
this is
Diablo version.
Excuse me, this is League of Legends that we're talking about, so you just take a step back with your Zarya reference.
Is she not in the game?
No, she's not even in Heroes of the Storm, which would be a closer chance.
Then what is Zarya in other than Overwatch?
I'm talking about League of Legends.
Jeez,
I'm saying League of Legends.
Dang it! What do I do? How do I close this podcast?
You just accept
now?
it, just like I accepted my Shazam reference.
Fair enough. We all make mistakes. If you want to support the show, always check us out on mastersoftheuniversecast.com. That is our official website where you can listen to new and old episodes. You can check out our Instagram stuff. You can participate and become a patron if you like. Throw us some ducats to make the show better. And if you want to support us non-monetarily, you can always leave a like. Please comment. It would be awesome if you subscribed to however you're finding us on the big worldwide webs. I've of course been your host, Mike
I've
G.
been your host, Winter.
And we will always ask you to look towards the skies. Look into the black hole.
Look into the black hole of the future. Gonna see what the black hole has in store. Okay.